Hi, neighbors. My name is Jacquie Berger, as they said, and I have lived here in the Low Country for about 8 years. Enjoy how slowly I'm speaking right now, because I'm just going to keep going faster and faster. I have two big important jobs. One of them, as I said, is the executive director of Low Country Local First, and I'm also a mother of two. This is child number one, my William. He is a rising fifth grader, and a couple of weeks ago, he got a really interesting assignment. He was assigned the task of interviewing everyone around him to ask them what their problems were, and then to come up with an invention, but a solution to their problems. And I love this assignment because I feel like I've been in the nonprofit sector for more than 20 years, and I feel like you cannot be in the nonprofit sector for more than 20 years without being very solutions-oriented, feeling passionately that that's possible and working tirelessly in that direction, because you're often working against big systemic problems, growing problems. So about a year ago, I became the second executive director of Low Country Local First. The organization's about 16 years old. I am in love with this job and in love with this organization because I believe in what we do, and we're here to support local independent businesses and to help them thrive here in the Low Country. My job is a lot like William's assignment. I talk to members all the time about their problems, and together with my amazing team, some of whom are here tonight, we try to come up with solutions to the problems that local independent businesses face, from the really mundane stuff like running your business to the bigger systemic societal problems that we all face. So who are local independent businesses? Let me paint a picture for you. They are places like the place we're in tonight, and local wine distributors, and banks, and toy stores, and luxury brands, and urban manufacturers, and architects, and produce distributors, and bookstores, and the list goes on and on and on. So why do we focus on these local independent businesses? Well, at the most basic level, these businesses are what give our community culture and character. They're what make our community awesome, and that, in just a most basic, fundamental way, is a good thing. So let me get a little bit more specific. This is Tone Reale. She makes this community awesome by selling her roadside blooms, and she does this in an environmentally friendly, socially conscious way. You can feel really good about bringing your money to Tony to bring home flowers. And that's Tony, sorry, takes a minute to circle. And she's growing her business in the way that we love to see our local businesses grow. She started as one woman hawking flowers out of the back of her truck. Now she has 12 people in a beautiful brick and mortar in Park Circle, and she's going to be expanding, along with help from local investors, into the Mixon community. So she's making this community increasingly awesome with her beautiful blooms. And the other piece of it is if you go to Tony and you get her flowers as opposed to buying your flowers from like flowers.com, 86 cents of your dollar leaves the community if you buy your flowers on flowers.com. So you can just hear this gigantic sucking sound as this vacuum cleaner is sucking wealth out of our community. Meanwhile, you support Tony, 3 times more of that money stays here in our community, and people like Tony, local independent businesses, are sponsoring our kids' sports teams and donating items to the local nonprofit and creating jobs and building wealth and doing all these things to keep our community going and growing the way that we want to see. The other part of our job as an organization is to keep that money then recirculating here in this community for as long as humanly or businessly possible. So from the local tractor dealer to the local farmer who's growing the food, who's providing it to the local restaurant, who's then using a local restaurant supply company. Even banking, this is the sexiest thing you're going to hear about tonight. It's where you have your money. So, but where you put your money, what financial institution you work with, is a huge lever for you to pull for the community that you want to live in. And this is Move Your Money Week, so I want you to think about moving your money to a local financial institution. We're playing a quick game of how do you bank. So if you have one bank account, raise your hand. And every hand should be up because, guys, mattresses are super flammable. And do you have 2, think broadly about this, credit cards, mortgages? Do you have 2 financial institutions that you work with? 3 or 4? A lot of your hands are still up. So I want you to think about one of those bank accounts could be a local financial institution. These are all chartered here in South Carolina or even here in Charleston, and they are reinvesting the money that you give them back here into our community. These are all members of Low Country Local First. So I'm moving in towards my big finish here, and my plea is that you think about the fact that every time you shop, every time you spend your hard-earned cash, you could be voting for the community that you want to live in and the world that you want to live in. So, as I said before at the very beginning, I'm a mother of 2, and I love the fact that I can take my kids and, mommy knows the person who sells their shoes or their ice cream or their flowers. And that's a beautiful way to grow up, and it's awesome. But it's so much more than that, because I also passionately want my kids to live in a world where the world is not hot and getting hotter, where violence and hatred aren't haunting our headlines and our streets, and where love is love forever and ever. So when we are using our money and shopping locally, we can invest in businesses that we believe in and raise up the entrepreneurs or business owners that we want to invest in. So you can use your hard-earned dollars to buy furniture from a furniture store that's completely solar-run, or from a woman-owned business, or a Black-owned business, or a restaurant group that is doing incredible things to build equity and raise up and provide opportunities to their employees. So all of these things are things that you can do. So if you have one takeaway from tonight, I want you to hit pause before you empty that shopping cart. And I know you have one because I have one. But just don't hit buy without thinking about the fact that you could be using that money here in our community to build wealth and to buy the community and the world that you want to live in. Thank you.